And good morning, everybody. Welcome, Hot Takes, Goodman and Haertl. I am in Denver. Bruce, I believe that background looks like Oregon.
It is. We are in Oregon, a little early morning. Hot Takes with Goodman and Haertl from the Pacific time zone. So good stuff. I hope you had for people that don't know, you and your lovely daughter Mia were in Lawrence, Kansas this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
How was the excursion? How was the fact-finding mission?
It was great. I mean, you have been on that campus many times.
Yeah.
It is stunning that it is on a hill and it overlooks everything. Did not realize, or maybe you know this because you've been there a long time. So the landmark on the Lawrence campus that has the two flags on top, right?
The Campanile.
Landmark for, say it again.
The Campanile.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, the big building that has the two flags. Right. Do you know the name of the building?
No, I don't.
It is called Fraser Hall. And the reason why I know that is that's where the psychology department is. It's the entire building for the most part.
Wow.
So learned that. We met with a couple of psych professors, very impressive guys. Didn't realize that Kansas was a big research university for psychology, which is a very big deal. People were nice. Tour was great.
Good.
Walked by Allen Fieldhouse thinking, how many games have I watched in there?
No kidding, right?
The new stadium is absolutely stunning for football. It was basically right across the street from where we were staying. And my daughter said to me, she goes, well, if I go to Kansas and Kansas plays Indiana, who are you going to root for?
Well, honey, I love you, but I'm sorry.
Well, these are my teams. This is where I'm going to be in a real quandary. I am a big Kansas State football fan.
Right. I gotcha.
Not a KU football fan, a big K-State football fan. And it has always been for football, Indiana, then Kansas State. Mm-hmm. For basketball, it has always been Indiana, then Kansas.
Yeah, I get that.
It's always been that way for me. So what if Indiana plays Kansas in basketball? I said, they don't. They did when I covered them, they did. But I can't remember the last time KU played Indiana. We will cross that bridge when we get to it. I said I am more than happy to wear Jayhawks gear. I will not likely wear something that says, KU dad. That's really not my thing. But I'll probably have a zip up with a Jayhawk right here if indeed that's where she decides to go.
Well, congratulations, and so excited for me. This has been quite a voyage. I mean, the last few years from her growing up and getting ready to go off to college now, that's got to be a real truth check for you a little bit. Like, oh my God, how is this possibly happening?
It truly sums up the phrase, the days are long, but the years are fast.
Amen.
With that, I want to tell you about the Sportsbook Bar and Grill. You can find them at the DTC, Highlands Ranch in Parker. How great is their menu? I get takeout from there all the time. That should tell you something right there. We are having a holiday party that I know that you and I believe your wife, if she's available, although I don't think she is, and Alex, you're going to be coming to the house. I've been talking about these Philly cheesesteak egg rolls for a long time. I know that you cannot eat them because you are not a carnivore in the sense of eating red meat, but I'm sure Alex will, plow down a few. We're catering in from there. It's a great place to watch all the games. The setup at all three locations are nothing short of fantastic. It is a sports bar that was built by sports fans, Judson and Jeremy and John. And they also have fantastic giveaways as well. When you talk about giveaways, I believe next month they are going to be giving away tickets to go see a game, and they're going to be doing that at their Parker location in December. So stay tuned for that. Sportsbook Bar and Grill. You can find them in the DTC, Parker, and Highlands Ranch. Time now for the lead.
The lead is presented by Sasquatch Casino, a family-owned casino that treats you like family.
Bruce, we didn't talk much about the Thursday game. I don't think we need to really, rehash it. We all know what happened, but the Broncos did not catch a break yesterday. Patriots and Colts both win. All three teams 8-2 records. Broncos, though, they moved up a notch in the seedings. They have the number 2 seed right now. If the playoffs started today, the Colts would be number 1. And remember, the Colts own the tie break. Pats are number 3. Is it too early to start talking about the number 1 seed?
Give me next Monday. Give me next Monday, and let's see how things go against Kansas City, because I think that that's going to be telling on a lot of different levels. I think we know the Broncos are a good football team. Can they be a very good football team? Can they be a great football team? That remains to be seen. We've talked about this from the start. There is no one great team in the AFC. We talked about this from probably week 4 or 5. Why not the Broncos? Someone is going to win the AFC. And it is more than likely going to be the team that stays the healthiest, the team that continues to improve week to week. And if the Broncos can be that team, then why not the Denver Broncos? But to your point, there's a bunch of teams swimming in the same stream, right? You could see the Patriots. You could see the Colts. The Chargers looked really good last night, I thought. Anyway, Vidal looks like he's more than a capable running back now. He's taken care of Jim Harbaugh's running game with all of these injuries that they've had. So there are plenty of teams that can fill the void in the AFC, but the Broncos are certainly one of them. And probably so are the Chiefs, right? And probably so are the Ravens, even at 4-5. So there's a lot of football still to be played. But you ask me that question next Monday, I'll have a firmer answer for you.
Just for fun, let's look at the Colts schedule. They have beaten the Dolphins, the Broncos, the Titans, the Raiders, the Cardinals, the Chargers, who have been depleted for a while,
right?
The Titans, and the Falcons. Is it fair to say, outside the Broncos and the, Chargers, even though they were depleted, have they beaten really a good team this year?
No.
Okay.
No. And really, as you go through the schedules, you can kind of say the same thing about a lot of teams. We're so Broncos-centric because that's what we deal with day to day here. But it's really kind of everyone. And that's what happens when there isn't a dominating team, not just in the AFC. Who would it be in the NFC? Are the Rams filling the void? Are the Rams that team? Maybe.
I think the Rams are pretty good.
They're pretty good.
More than pretty good.
I mean, I'm with you on that one.
They're loaded offensively, and their defense is more than good enough. Just for fun, let's go through the Patriots, who they have beaten. The Dolphins, the Panthers, the Bills, the Saints, Titans, Browns, Falcons, Buccaneers. The Buccaneers win, and the win over the Bills, you can call them signature wins.
Yes.
The Broncos, they have had a signature win. Is that fair to say?
Yes, clearly. Yes.
Okay. You know, I don't know if I'd call Dallas a signature win because they're not very good. Their offense is very good. To me, that was encouraging. But where did their signature win come from? Beating the Eagles?
I think beating the Eagles on the road. The Eagles at that point were unbeaten. The Eagles have still only lost a couple of games. I mean, it's not like, they're still a pretty good football team, and they are the defending champions. I would give that one to them. After that, is Houston their next best win? And I'm not talking about the manner in which they won. I'm just talking about they beat a very good defense. A team that ended up winning this last week and came from behind to do it too, which was odd. In fact, Davis Mills was pretty good in that game. The NFL's odd. It's weird. We talk about it every single week. It's tough to know what to expect.
How about the Bills losing to the Dolphins yesterday?
How about the Bills losing?
Where the hell did that come from?
Where did that come from?
Right.
Seriously. It's like, are you kidding me? Have you seen the Dolphins? How bad they've been? So, you take it week to week. But yeah, I mean, I think the Broncos are in the mix.
Yes.
That's about as far as I'm saying. They're in the mix.
Here's the thing, okay? When we look at the Colts and the Patriots, 20 years ago, these were unbelievable franchises.
Right.
Now they have new quarterbacks. So, in some ways, does the AFC look wide open, or do we perceive it to be that way because the traditional top teams over the last 5 years, the Chiefs, Ravens, and Bengals, are not at the top?
That's an interesting question. I think I love the traditional powers being kind of back in the cycle has kind of got the Broncos back up in the wash. The Patriots are back up in the wash, but and maybe I feel a little better about the Patriots right now than I do the Broncos, but it would be by a smidge because I do think that they're getting better quarterback play right now from Drake May than the Broncos are getting from Bo Nix. I do think that the Patriots are more than a capable defense. Vrabel has been a very good coach for them. He's back home. I think the Patriots probably are just a smidge ahead, and the Colts have to be a smidge ahead, right? I mean, they won.
Beat the Broncos.
They beat the Broncos, and you know something. I'm not moving the goalposts. If I'm going to sit there and say who won the game and all season long and the Colts won that game, then I'm not going to move the goalposts. The Colts won that game. They did it in odd fashion.
Yep.
Very fortunate fashion. I'm not going to use the luck word. Very fortunate fashion, but They won the game, and they've got the tiebreaker. That's the end of the conversation. But it's cool to have those teams back in the mix.
I want to liken, if we can, what we are seeing in the AFC with the Chiefs, the Bengals, and the Ravens not being powers like in theory they used to be. When I say the Bengals, when Joe Burrow's playing,
right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, gotcha.
So with that, if you look at the top 4 teams in college football and you are a casual college football fan, top 4 teams are Ohio State, Indiana, A&M, and Alabama. In that order in the AP Top 25. If you're a casual fan, when you look at the history of those 4 programs, you're thinking Indiana does not belong there.
No.
Just like you would look at it when you look at the last 3-4 years, the Patriots don't belong there.
No.
And the Colts don't belong there. I mean, how much do
the Broncos don't belong there. I mean, come on, let's call it what it is, right?
And then just for fun, as we move down the college rankings, if you're not Georgia, because they're in the same conference, but if you are looking at teams just for fun, like let's say there's a college football playoff and Oregon or Texas Tech or Notre Dame or Texas play Vanderbilt, an 8-2 team with almost no history, you're thinking, dude, it's Vanderbilt, right? Or, dude, it's Indiana. And that's why I'm likening this to the NFL. Come on. Drake May, first full season. Patriots, what have they been? Colts, Daniel Jones, what are you kidding? I know they're Jonathan Taylor, but and that we tend to sometimes form opinion based on history instead of what we are currently seeing.
Yeah, that's a fair statement. The only thing that I would say in reaction to it is that you are now 10 weeks in, 11 weeks in. And Sean has even told us, you know this because you hear it all the time, you start to know about your team at the first quarter poll. Well, You know what? We're approaching the third quarter poll. This league and this season is flying by right now. And we are about ready to get into week 12 of the National Football League. I mean, are you kidding me? So I think that we've got a little better understanding of what teams are right now. Now, Daniel Jones has been a little more inconsistent here than he was early in the season when he was setting the world on fire. He threw 3 interceptions, not yesterday, but the week before. So he's had some stops and some starts. But the Colts have the best running back in football right now. They have one of the best offensive lines in football, and they're playing pretty decent football. I think the Colts are pretty good. I think the Patriots are pretty good. I think the Broncos can be pretty good. So we're starting to get an idea for who the players are. You've got to continue to include the Chiefs. There's no question. You got to include the Chiefs, even at 5-4, whatever they are at this particular point. And I think that you've got to include, to some degree, Baltimore, because with Lamar healthy, they seem to be a team on the come right now.
I'm going to use a boxing analogy if I can, just for fun. I'm going to go way back. For a specific boxer who was known for one punch. Doesn't mean he was a one-punch fighter, but it means if this guy tagged you with a left hook, you were done. And that was Joe Frazier.
Yeah.
Picture, to me, the Broncos are Joe Frazier missing his right arm.
Yeah.
If he tags you, you're finished.
Yeah.
And that left hook is the defense. But you don't know if you're going to have a right arm if you're Joe Frazier when you walk into the ring week by week.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. That's a pretty good way of putting it. No question about it. There are teams that are challenged. I think the Broncos are in that mix, right? I mean,
you think they're in that mix? We absolutely positively know.
I mean, I know they're in that mix.
They're the Sybil of college of the NFL.
Football. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to throw the left hook every single week with that defense.
Right.
The question is, what do they follow it up with? I mean, at this point, I don't even know if they can jab. I mean, right? I mean, at this point, I mean, they've got a left hook that if someone gets in the way of it, they're going down and out.
Yeah.
And they may not wake up for a week. But the problem is they can't follow it up with the jab. And yeah, they got a blocked kick. But, I mean, special teams are still far from special. And the offensive issues, we've talked about them ad nauseum. This is another week and another challenge against a good defense, really good defense that knows you. This is a division game. All of those things are going to play into this, and it's going to be a damned interesting game. I think we learn a lot about the Broncos this weekend.
I would agree. If somebody would have told you at the start of the season that 10 games in, the Broncos would be tied for the best record in football. They'd be leading the AFC West. They would have the number 2 seed with a wildly inconsistent offense and special teams, with a dominating defense. You would have said what?
Said no. Probably not. But I don't know if that is because of the Broncos and what they've done or because of the power failure in the AFC. I would have been counting on Buffalo at this point. I probably would have been counting on the Chiefs at this point. I would have been counting on the Bengals with Joe Burrow to be a factor at this point. I certainly thought, and they still are, that the Chargers were going to be a factor. But you've got 3 teams that have faltered a little bit. Look, I mean, the Chiefs are still there. The Ravens are still there. But between them, those 2 teams are 500 right now.
Yeah.
You're talking about 2 of the power teams in the AFC. And the Bills just got their asses beaten yesterday by Tua, for goodness sakes. So I do think that, I mean, 8-2, I probably wouldn't have given you much for the Broncos to have been 8-2 looking at their schedule, but I might have had them at 6-4 or 7-3, something like that. I think that our feeling was there is going to be improvement. Now, how they got there, maybe that's a different thing because they haven't gotten there with what we thought was going to be the improvement from Bo Nix. Not hearing you.
Sorry about that. This is the second show in a row I've done that.
I mean, do you push buttons during the show?
Yes, I do. Yes,
well, why do you do that?
Because maybe I have to cough, or I don't know.
Because you have buttons to push. Don't ask me silly questions because they're there.
It's not that I enjoy pushing your buttons. I enjoy pushing my own buttons.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. All right. What did you say that I missed? What jewel? What pearl of wisdom?
Looking at the AFC North, now that Lamar Jackson is back, they have survived.
Yeah, they have.
Pittsburgh doesn't look like a world beater, do they?
No.
And I'm guessing the Ravens, if Lamar Jackson stays healthy, they're going to win the division, which might be a good thing, or I don't know if it'll be a good thing or a bad thing, because I don't know if the Broncos play the Ravens, you'd rather obviously be here. And right now it's trending that the Broncos could host the Ravens in a playoff game. You just don't want to face them, as a wild card team. Or period, I should say.
Yeah, probably. I mean,
they're lurking.
They're lurking. I don't know how good they are defensively, but hey, look, if the Broncos win this week, Eric, and get to 9-2, I think they're going to be hosting a game in the playoffs.
I have very little doubt that they will be.
I mean, I seriously think that this is kind of the hammerhead. If you can finish this game this week, I mean, you still got to deal with the Chargers. Okay. I mean, I hear you on that, but at least you deal with them at home. And there are capable teams still to play, right? I mean, the Packers come in here. Hell, who knows what the Packers are going to be like? They could be really, really good. They could be very, forgettable. Who knows? Washington is not clearly nowhere near the Washington that it was a year ago. They're not going to have Jalen Daniels. And Jacksonville, Jacksonville is whatever. So, I mean, but I think if you win this game this week and you're now all of a sudden you're what up? You're up for, what is it? 4, 9-2 to 5. It'd be 5-5. So you'd be up 3.5 games on
with
Kansas City with a game in hand.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a huge game on so many different levels.
Coming up after the break, JuJu Lewis in his debut for the Buffs, more than pretty good.
Right.
Well, can you make the case? What took Dion so long to start him? That's next.
Ferguson's Heating and Cooling is the best in Denver, and their customers agree. Ferguson's has 165 5-star Google reviews, and here's one from Betsy. Highly professional, prompt, and honest. I switched to Ferguson's when I became aware my former company was trying to sell me a whole new system I didn't need. Ferguson's is an honest, working, family-owned business that'll give you a fair price, the highest quality parts and equipment, and they always show up on time. You can trust the Ferguson family like you trust your own family. Go to fergusonsheatingandcooling.com.
Everyone has their favorite sports bar. Mine, the Sportsbook Bar and Grill in Highlands Ranch, DTC, and now in Parker. All their locations are everything a sports bar should be. An upscale menu with 12 different burgers, outstanding wings, and my favorite, the Philly cheesesteak egg rolls. They've got every game on the NFL Sunday Ticket, MLB Extra Innings, NHL Center Ice, NBA League Pass, plus soccer, rugby, and UFC. Sportsbook, great hangout bar, great for private parties. The Sportsbook Bar and Grill in Highlands Ranch, DTC, and now in Parker. They are the sports bar.
Ever wondered where city and county fleet vehicles go when they retire? Now's your chance to find out and score big. Imagine driving away with a great deal on a reliable vehicle. For over 45 years, Roller Auction has been the trusted source for government fleet vehicles and equipment. Trucks, SUVs, sedans, and more, all selling to the highest bidder. Don't miss out. Visit roller.bid/hot takes to get auction updates today. Your next vehicle could be just a click away.
Everyone has their favorite barbecue spot. Mine, Smokin' Dave's Barbecue and Brew. My favorites, slowly smoked ribs, smoked corned beef Reuben, smoked meatloaf with a portobello balsamic cream sauce. Don't forget about Smokin' Dave's 16-hour smoked brisket and pork with one of their 4 homemade barbecue sauces. Great sides, you bet. Barbecue beans made with pork and brisket and their southern corn bake. Man, you got to try it. Plus, they have amazing non-barbecue entrees on the menu. Go where I go, Smokin' Dave's Barbecue and Brew in North Denver.
Here's another great promotion from Sasquatch and Wildcard Casinos in Blackhawk. On December 13th, it's their annual holiday auction for a pair of Super Bowl tickets, tools, jewelry, electronics, toys, and kitchen appliances. Earn auction currency with every locked-up jackpot, players' points, or a daily cash drawing. There's so many ways to earn currency, and the more you play, the more you'll be able to bid and win what you want at their auction. So get up to Sasquatch and Wildcard Casinos and start stacking your auction currency today.
Welcome back. Hot Takes, Goodman and Haertl. Time now for What's Trending.
What's Trending is presented by Ferguson's Heating and Cooling. Your family should trust the Ferguson family for all your heating and cooling needs, and you'll see why they have over 165 5-star Google reviews. Make an appointment today at fergusonsheatingandcooling.com.
Okay, how about JuJu? Completed 63% of his passes, 299 yards, 2 touchdown passes, no interceptions, did get sacked 7 times, but then again, he was missing his top 2 offensive tackles. And he was on the road, and he was making his first start. Give me an overall thumbnail sketch of your evaluation of JuJu.
I think he gets a high B for this debut. I thought he was good. He was poised. He got his ass kicked, and he hung in there with it. He wasn't pointing fingers. He was leading as best he could. And I thought he did a really, really nice job. It gives me a reason to pay attention to the upcoming game with Arizona State, where otherwise I probably wouldn't have even tuned in. I might have checked the score in passing, but I was intrigued. And this has nothing to do with JuJu. It has to do with the program. And you and I have talked about this, and you've hammered this for a long time now, and it's right on target. Their trenches, man, they just don't play great football there. And I get it. When you don't have a couple of starters, it changes the chemistry. But this has been with starters, without starters. It's been a weakness in this program, really from the time that Dion and company came in 3 years ago. They've never been really stout on the offensive and defensive fronts. They've got skilled people running all over the field, and that in and of itself is fun to watch. It really is, and it's very valuable. But my God, you've got to have the guys up front, and they just don't have them. Let's not forget, West Virginia is not a very good football team.
Well, they're terrible defensively.
They're awful. And CU scored 22 points. So, I mean, I give JuJu grace.
Yeah.
I thought he looked the part. I give him high marks. I liked his poise. I liked his maturity. And he's going to have a couple of more starts to see what he's got. And Arizona State, Arizona State's still playing for something. So they will come with their dogs this weekend to Boulder. So there we go.
No question. You burn the red shirt now.
Yeah, I think so. Right. I mean, at this point, yes, at this point, you've got to try to develop some degree of continuity for this program. If you know that he's coming back next year now, and you and I don't know all of that, but we guess that that's probably the case, that he and Dion have a great relationship, and this thing is being forged as we go on. But I think you have to play him now. No question.
You almost feel like, why did Dion wait so long with JuJu? Or was it he truly felt JuJu wasn't ready or didn't want to burn the red shirt? I'm sure there are a lot of different elements to why JuJu didn't start earlier. But can you put your finger on it? Because I'm not so sure I can.
The answer to that is no. I probably can't put my finger directly upon it, but I would guess that Dion played the quarterback throughout the season that he thought gave them the best chance to win. I hope that doesn't sound like a cop-out, but they see them every single day. They see those quarterbacks every single day. We saw JuJu back against, who was it? Delaware, right? And he was a total fish out of water. Now, that was really early in the season. A lot of time has transpired. He's obviously done some work and he's got some confidence, and good for him, and maybe good for CU, because all of a sudden now, and look, that's a 60-minute glimpse, of a football game. You got to be careful about making too strong a conclusions, but there appears to be a chance for some degree of continuity in the program, at least from a standpoint of having your quarterback going into next year. I was getting worried about it, Eric.
Yeah, well, I look at JuJu's start, and there are some intangibles that are not relevant to what I'm about to say.
Sure.
When the Broncos played the Cowboys, offensively, boy, did they look on track.
Mm-hmm.
And since then, they have not. So when you look at West Virginia, a team that is just dreadful defensively, but JuJu's first start, and it's on the road, I do think it is a wait and see as much as anything else.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens when he goes to Kansas State, when he plays a pretty good Arizona State team as well, before we get too excited. But with that, at the very least, with a 3-7 football team, at least in theory, for this week, we have hope, don't we?
Yeah, I think so. And intrigue, right? I mean, all of us, this kid I'm not going to go that he looked the part. I'll give him that. He looked the part. And I am interested to see if he can stack a couple of games, 2 or 3 games on one another. And if the answer is yes, then you have a level of excitement that probably 2 weeks ago, as a CU fan, take your pick, on the road at Utah, the next week at home against Arizona, you probably didn't have. So, and at this point, as a CU fan, I'm looking for anything to make me optimistic about what they have potentially coming back for next year.
If you're not going to watch the game against Arizona State live, that might be your best bet if you want to save some time. And what do I mean by that? Doesn't matter if CU wins or loses, they're out of bowl contention. The defense is not good at all.
No.
So if you don't watch the game live, you probably can get what you want by watching the CU game over the course of maybe 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Just keep fast forwarding when the defense is on the field, and then just watch when JuJu's on there, and you can get in and out of watching the CU game in less than an hour.
That's actually pretty good advice, because you and I've done that before. I mean, that is an absolute fact. I've watched a lot of games like that. It's fun. It's fun to use the clicker, but no, I was pleased that they showed some competitiveness. I was pleased that they seemed to play hard with this young man at the helm. It's not a good football team. They were not playing a good football team. But you know something, Eric? I thought that this team was dead in the water at Utah and at home against Arizona.
And they were dreadful against Houston.
No question. It's good to see that they have something left in their tank. And maybe it was as simple as JuJu getting the start. I don't know. But right. They were at least competitive in this football game. Now, I will say this before we move on. It's a damn shame that I'm saying at least they were competitive in a game at West Virginia against a team that is under 500 and is about as woebegone at this particular point as Colorado is. But you know what? They hadn't shown any kind of pushback in the previous 2 games. So I was just glad to see that.
It's funny when you look at the schedule and who they have played this season, you really wonder how they just got destroyed by 3 teams when you consider they lost to Georgia Tech in a 1-score game.
Yeah.
And they lost to BYU by a field goal.
Right. Late.
And you really wonder which team is going to show up week after week. With that, let's talk about what we know. This team is 3-7. The season is over because you're not going to go to a bowl game. It's all about what can JuJu do. How would you evaluate the season? You certainly can't call it a success because it's not. But how?
I think I'd call it. How about failure? How about failure?
That's right. Is it a disappointment? Is it a failure? Is it a rebuild? I mean,
this is a failure. To me, it's a failure. I'm looking at 3-9 at this particular point. They would have to play. They would have to play very well, and I don't know if they've got the capacity to do that, to beat Arizona State even at home. And Kansas State is down this year, but that's a buzzsaw on senior day in Manhattan. That's a tough place to try to to figure something out at the last second. So I think that this season, I mean, when you started 4-8 in year 1, you won 9 games in year 2, and you have regressed back to 3 wins, 4 at the absolute best. Maybe they get a feel-good thing here in the last couple of weeks. We'll see. That to me is a failure. I mean, on what level have you succeeded? On what level have you played good football? You're right. Early on, they were playing competitive football. The loss to Georgia Tech as the season went on for Georgia Tech up until a couple of weeks ago, that looked like a pretty damn good game for them. For Colorado, you can argue that or the BYU game, maybe the Iowa State game because they won the game. Those are the 3 games that they were at their most competitive and probably played their best football. Well, 2 of them were in losses. Yeah. So
they also beat Iowa State.
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah, Iowa State. Right. And now Iowa State has fallen off the edge of the earth, but maybe Colorado had something to do with that too. Right. I mean, you know, I'll give them credit where it's due. Iowa State was at most of this season a pretty capable football team, a ranked football team. Now they haven't been able to hold the fort, but no, I think that this season would be a failure. And I don't know on what level one could make the argument for it being a success or even moderately good on any level. What would it be?
Let's throw out a quick tease for tomorrow. The Broncos are tied for the best record in the NFL. The Avalanche have the most points in the NHL. And the Nuggets are tied for the second best record in the NBA. I think it is fair to say we are in the golden age of Denver sports right now. Give me a quick answer if you believe that or not. When you go back in history, when all 3 teams are playing at the same time, have all 3 of these teams been really this good at the same time? And I would argue not even close.
No, I think at this particular point, I wish there was some championship medal there. I mean, we've got medal with both the Avs and the Nuggets, but when does the statute of limitations end on that, right? I mean, the Nuggets were champions a few years ago. The Avs were champions a few years ago. My God.
Yeah, but the Broncos weren't good at that time.
And the Broncos weren't good. You're right.
I'm talking about all 3 teams at the same time. I mean, when you go back to when Peyton Manning was here, how good were the Avalanche?
No, you're right. Yeah.
How good were the Nuggets? They weren't competing for titles. I mean, Jokic was just getting going. You had a young, I can't even remember. McCarr wasn't even in the league when Peyton Manning was here. Was he?
No, he wasn't. Okay, so did the Avs win their first cup in 91?
No, they won the cup in 98. And oh my God, I cannot believe I am 96 and 2001.
2001. Yeah, that's right. 96 and 2001. Yeah.
So when the Avs were going strong in the late 1990s, okay, and the Broncos were really strong in the late 1990s, I mean, it was awesome. I'm sure I wasn't here covering it. I watched it from afar when I was anchoring at CNN at the time. So I remember watching both of those teams because in theory, I was covering both of those teams nationally. But the Nuggets were not good.
No. Oh, no, absolutely not.
And that's what I mean by all three teams going at the same time, where you have, in theory, the best player in the NBA in his prime. McKinnon, arguably the best player in the NHL in his prime. And then you have, with the Broncos, and this would be a question for tomorrow, don't answer this now, you have an MVP, in my opinion, or candidate again, in Jokic and McKinnon, and a defensive player of the year in Pat Surtain, and a potential defensive player in the year in Benito. We have all four of these guys here. Now the question for tomorrow is rank them. And don't answer it now.
Well, I'll have to give that 24 hours of consideration then.
Please
look forward to it. Absolutely.
That's going to do it for us. Hot Takes, Goodman and Haertl. Make it the best possible day you can.